Okay. Little story behind this. The Cub Cadet LTX1045. It's my son's that he got from his father-in-law. And about a month ago, he stopped in and had this in the back of his truck and said, "Hey, Pops, I got an idler wheel, or not an idler wheel, but a wheel on the deck that the bracket broke off and he needed it welded." So, of course, I said, "Sure, drop it off." And so now this is the state of it. I had some leaks in the back seals of the transmission there. Now I know this transmission, they say, aren't serviceable, which is technically true, but we're going to service it. I went on to the Jungle website, the old Amazon. I got a tune-up kit. I'll put a link to that in the description. When I would turn the key, this whole engine had the shakes. She would do that. And then, of course, when she started, she would do that. And there's just, I figured it had a broken motor mount, or the bolts were sheared off. But all 4 bolts were in there, but all 4 bolts were loose. I took those out. I just put a lock washer on them, put them back in. She seems to be doing just fine. So, that being said, under the seat, usually the battery, and then there is a liner for the battery to sit in. And then down below is the transmission. And then this little cap right here is the transmission fluid fill, apparently, even though it's non-serviceable. This is a 1/4-inch drive. You just get yourself a 1/4-inch bit similar to this. That'll fit right in there. Get your socket on it. And she was difficult to get out, but first time. But she comes right out of there. She was pretty full right up to there. Now that takes a 2050 oil. This transmission here is a Hydro Gear 6180319. So that being said, I've got the seal kit, which I purchased off of Amazon, and I will be installing them. I've got this seal out, and this seal's got to come out, and I've got the new seals to go in. So to get these seals out, you can use a screwdriver, kind of punch that in, try and pry them back. If you've got a pick set like this, you can probably do the same thing, get these in there, pry them back. I found the easiest for me is I get a screw, and I get a driver, and I just screw it in there. And that'll usually push it right out of there. I mean, there's a bearing, hardened steel bearing in behind this. So, you're really not going to damage it. But as you can see, this thing was leaking pretty bad. And you keep that up. She's also wasn't leaking bad enough to do that, but you're going to want to get some emery cloth. Get these all sanded up, cleaned up before we put the new seals on. They go on and stay on. I've already done that to both sides, so we'll get to installing them. Okay, so we got our seal here. We're just going to grease it up all around those edges and on the inside as well. I'm just going to slide it onto this shaft. And remember, we've already emery clothed them, got them all cleaned up. All right, we got that on there now. I've got my washer again here, my 3/8" drive, and my hammer. And we're just gonna try and lightly tap it around. Excuse me. Till we get this thing seated. Yeah, that's nice. It's a nice fit. So now on this, they've got these spacers. Those go on there. Your wheel goes on here. Your wheel's got a little keyway that slides in there, and then you just gonna put on with a 1/2" bolt. So I would suggest you use a wrench with this and not an impact, because these things tend to twist off. They're very, very little 1/2" bolts, and if you give too much torque, you might just twist it off, and then you're in trouble. Okay, so on this transmission, I almost forgot, this has a locking ring to it that we almost forgot to put back on. So install that, go put the one on the other side, and then we can put our spacer, our wheel, and then I guess you want to call it a lug nut. So I'll get that done. I'll get these wheels on. We'll go over some other stuff. Okay, I've got one of the wheels on. What I did want to mention is when you do pull those seals out of there, most of the oil will leak out. So if you get yourself a tray, you know, underneath here, that'll catch most of the oil. And then you might have to have both sides. One side's leaking, one side's not leaking. But you get your trays under there, you catch most of the oil. But I want you to look at this transmission. This actually sits down another, say, 3 inches below that. So there's still plenty of fluid inside this transmission. And the only way to get it out is through that top cap. So down that top cap. And the easiest way I found is, where did that go? All right, is one of these transfer pumps. You'll stick the hose in there, and it'll go pretty much down to the bottom. And then you suck that out, and you get it, pump it into your other tanks or your little trays that are underneath the seals there. And what you get out of there looks pretty gross. And again, this is a 2050 oil for that transmission. The Hydro Gear 618-0319 takes a 2050 oil. So that being said, that'll get it all out. You've got your seals in. I'm going to get the other wheel on. We're going to get it filled up. And then after we fill it up, we are going to sit here. Oop, not quite jacked up, or yeah, it's right in the center there. We're going to turn these wheels after we fill it. That will help bleed the air out of that transmission. And I don't know if we're going to do it for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I'm just going to do it for quite a while. Just do that. Let's get some of that air bled out. And then again, maybe when we start it up, we'll pull that, keep it in neutral, and let it run for a little bit. And also help bleed that air out. And we'll keep that full. You want it about a 1/2 inch from the top. I think it takes about a quart, a little over a quart, quart and a half to fill that transmission back up. Okay, we got both the seals in there. So now I'm going to do is fill this thing up with the 2050 oil. I just took the top off my Lucas thing, put a hose on this thing. We'll get that in there and start filling her up. All right. I'm not gonna make you wait, but we'll get this thing filled up. Okay, she's going pretty slow, kind of like an IV drip. She was going really slow, but I took my utility knife, gave myself a little cut in the bottom of the bottle here, and started going, I guess, a lot faster, but nonetheless, she's slow. And as I'm doing it, every once in a while, I'm just spinning the tires to move that transmission around inside there and kind of work some air out, because you'll have some air in there, so we want to get all the air out before we really get going on it. We'll get her filled up and we'll be back. Well, that was kind of a process there. Could have turned this video into an hour-long video just filling this thing. So I don't know if that was the best way to fill it or not, but maybe use that transfer pump again to pump it in there. I don't know, but you can see about 3/4 of an inch to an inch below that. So I'm going to call that good right now. I'm going to put the cap back on it. Then we're going to move on to the engine. Okay, this is where the oil filter goes, right in this here. I'm just going to show you the old oil filter. There we go. Crushed this thing getting it out of there with an oil filter wrench. So don't be one of those guys that, you know, gets it off with the oil filter wrench and then puts it on with the oil filter wrench. All you really need to do, get your oil around this seal here, get it up there. Once it seats, about another 1/4 turn, and you should be good. All right, so we got the oil filter, got the oil, and get a little bit, get it on that ring there, make that loosed up. And you don't have to, but since this oil filter sits up there like this, I'm just going to put some oil in it. That way. All right. Spin it, it's seating. And we're hand tight. That's all you need to do. Hand tighten them. Don't over tighten it. Now we fill the oil and check the old depth stick, which when you fill it from the top is hard to do. You might want to go off to something else. I can't even see that, but it looks like we're in the marks. Now we're low. I put a full quart in there now. Looks like we're about halfway on the dipstick. So I'm going to stop there. Once we run it, we'll get it started. Let it run for a little bit, and then we will, check it again. Make sure it's good. We already put some in the oil filter, so that's not going to take another bunch out. So let's head on over to the air filter, which is right here. You got 2 nuts. I'm going to take them off. And we got the pre-filter in here. And that looks like a little mouse got into that one. Having some fun. I did find some acorns and stuff in this thing. So I've got the new filters here. Get your pre-filter in there. Air filter right here. We're going to take that off and throw that away. And it has a little gasket fits on here. All right, and then we got the pre-filter. Take that, rid of that. Take our new pre-filter, And we're going to put a couple of squeezes of oil on here and then squeeze that out. Whoop. Whoa, that's a lot. If you ever clean these, never use gasoline or anything, just go get a new one. And we stick that right back in here. Next, we're going to move into the spark plug. Okay, we got 4 5/16" bolts. You're going to have one there. You're going to have one there. You're going to have one there. And then, of course, you're going to have one back in here. Yeah. Get the light and the camera there at the same time. Right back there. So you're going to get a little extension for that one, definitely. But here's your 4 bolts. Once we get those 4 bolts out, oh yeah, we can take the oil fill out. Don't forget about that. And then that'll come right off of there. And then here's our spark plug. So I'll get my spark plug wrench. It's a 5/8. We'll get this off. We'll get her gapped. We'll tell you all about that in a second. Okay, spark plug. First we remove the boot. Get our spark plug wrench on here. Okay, here it is. So this is a Champion RC12YC. What came with it? Well, these are gapped at. Oh, I don't have my dang glasses. 0.03. So this old one, almost 0.0375, just shy of the 4. That's garbage. So we get our new spark plug out. The new one in this kit is an F7TC. And we're going to see about the gapping here. Right on 0.03. Oh, we'll install. Put the thing back together. Okay, perfect. That's 5/8 coming out. What? All right, 5/8 coming out, 13/16 going in. Alright, put her boot back on. She's seated. Another acorn. That's where the little mouse is going in there, taking our pre-filter and going building a nest somewhere. Get these off of here. And that's basically it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and do this kind of one-handed. I can't find my vice grip needle nose, but I want to pinch this hose off. I'm going to take this clamp off. I'm going to get the shut off on there. That way I don't have fuel leaking out. I've got about, I don't know, a quarter tank of fuel, and I don't want to lose that. Now with fuel prices the way they are, and so we just get these 2 tabs, slide that back. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. We've been on here for a while. Yeah. I think it's coming. That'll pinch. Yeah. That'll pull. The fuel shut off in here. Good. Move our clamp back up. Now we can work on getting this. Kind of hidden back up in there. All right, you see me working, but you have no idea what I'm doing. All right, well, you do. You have an idea what I'm doing. Yeah, of course you do. I'm trying to get this hose off. There we go. Lose a little bit of fuel all over my pant leg. That's perfect. We gotta love that. So, get the new one in. Get that hose clamp. Now, all right. Now we're gonna do. The kit comes with a roll of hose. It's not the best hose in the world, so that's why this is a braided hose. This is just a push-on kind of hose. We just need a chunk. We need to go from there to there. So, yeah, ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh, that is tight. All right. Take our clamp. Oh, perfect. Doesn't fit. Okay. Well, it's got a nice seal. That's not going to fit on that side. Then I take it either. So yeah. The kit, the gas line, and the clamps they send you don't work. I guess what I am going to do, I've already taken the clamp off of the, slid that up here. I did find a vice grip, a small one. It's hopefully we won't get too much fuel out. A couple drips were good. And then we will cut this. All right, slide our fuel shut off back in here. Move our clamp over. Okay, now we take that piece that we cut off, slide that on. Okay. Good to go. Got the engine cover. I've already installed the other two bolts on the other side. The one hard one to get to, of course. Oh, come on. You gotta fail when you need them to work. Alright. I hate this 1/4 inch wrench socket. Alright. So that's all together. We've got the oil filter change. We got new fuel line. Got the fuel shut off put in there. We got a new spark plug. We changed the transmission fluid. I think what we're going to do is put this thing in neutral. That's in neutral now. And it's going to give the T a little whomp. See what happens. Oh yeah. Probably got to be sitting on the seat. I remember when I said I changed, or I didn't change them, but the motor mounts underneath, there's 4 motor mounts, one in each corner. They were totally loose. And this whole engine would do a shake, a little dance every time I hit the key. I'm not doing that no more. So let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up. See what happens. Well, what the hell happened? Oh. Okay, so remember to turn your fuel shutoff on now that you put that in there. Now we're getting some gas. Yeah, that's smart. I'm smart. Okay, this thing's ready to go. So I topped off that oil. She ended up taking about 40 ounces, which is a quart and 8 ounces, so a little over quart. Took the battery out, took the tray out. I checked the transmission fluid level. That was good. We're going to, got it in neutral. I'm going to push this thing out. I'm going to let it run for a little bit. And then I'm going to get on it, take it for a short ride over to its resting place for the next couple of months. We have another 1 to 36 inches of snow coming today. It's 14 degrees outside. There is no snow for me to go mow. So, yeah. I'll take this for a ride. Thanks for watching. I hope I helped you in any way. If I did something wrong, you let me know. If I did something right, let me know. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.